Hi, I'm Laura from Lalo Yoga and Wellness, and welcome to your yoga practice today. The focus for today is going to be a lot of work on our core. I feel like it's such an important part of everything that we do in a physical yoga practice, not to mention the core of your life, making sure that you're able to support all the things that you want to do. You have to be strong in that inner core. So whether we're talking about physical strength, our core supports everything we do for balancing and for helping maintain proper posture and form. And the same goes for your real life. You've got to get back to that core person of yourself to make sure you can really support all the things that you're trying to do in your life. Let's get started. Today's practice, we're going to start in a wide child's pose. So go ahead and feel free to bring your knees toward the edges of your mat and your big toes are touching together in the back. We're going to reach our hands toward the top of the mat and place our forehead either on the mat or on a block. A couple of other options for you might be to stack your fists one on top of the other and rest your forehead there, or even drape your arms alongside the body and let the forehead rest on the mat or a block. I want you to pay attention to how it feels in your shoulders. And we're just going to take a couple of moments there to really sort of drop into our bodies. So go ahead and find whichever position feels the most relaxing for you and start to pay attention to how it's feeling in your body. So maybe noticing where your body is touching the mat, each one of those contact points. Maybe you're noticing if you're feeling a little bit warm or cool, a little sore or tired in your muscles. Maybe you're feeling like you have a lot of energy. We're just noticing and giving our body some attention. We're taking our drishti, that is our focus, onto our physical body right now. We start to tune into our thoughts and give them the same kind of attention. It's just a noticing what's going through your mind, knowing that you can let those thoughts go. You don't have to chase every one. And then we start to bring in our breath. Starting with noticing the breath coming and going in the body. And then beginning to put some control into that breathing. Deep inhales. Maybe you feel your belly touching the sides of your legs as you breathe in. Long, full exhales. Just imagining any stress or anxiety or tension exiting your body on that exhale. Give yourself a few more breaths here. Trying to take that full inhale and exhale every single time. Now on your next exhale, just give yourself a big sigh, let your mouth open, signaling your body that we're about to start putting some movement to that breath. Let's bring our hands now flat to the floor, fingers spread nice and wide, and bring your knees a little bit closer together so that they are parallel to each other. Coming up onto your hands and your knees, your hands directly under your shoulders. Take those fingers out nice and wide so you can see the mat between your fingers. Knees directly under the hips. You can always come up onto your knuckles or use your blocks if you want to give your wrists just a little bit of a break here. In our nice strong table pose, lengthening out through the spine, Maybe paying some extra attention along the neck to keep us from pulling those shoulders up toward your ears. Let's shift our hips a little bit to the right and just look over your left shoulder toward your left ankle, imagining your spine making that C shape. Let's bring it back to the center and take that little shift to the left with the hips, looking over the right shoulder, and come right back to the center. Inhale and lift your gaze, let your belly drop, lift the tailbone for cow pose. Exhale, scooping the hips, rounding the spine, tucking the chin for cat. Inhale to cow. Exhale to cat. And returning to tabletop. Let's reach out through the right hand, thumb up, and the left leg. Your foot is flexed so it feels active, and you're pushing through the heel, balancing your body here, keeping the hips level all the way across. Take a deep breath, really reach through those fingers, reach through that heel, and as you exhale, round the spine and bring the forehead, elbow, and knee together in the center. Inhale and reach. Exhale and round. Inhale and reach. Let's do that one more time. Inhale and reach. Take your right arm straight out from your right shoulder and your left leg straight out from the hip, dropping the right hand to the floor. Reach your left hand toward the ceiling, coming into a supported side plank. Let's pause here for just a moment. You can stay here with your left leg on the ground. Maybe you want to lift it up, or maybe you even want to pull that foot towards your backside. Give yourself a full breath in and out. And if you're holding onto the foot, just release it. If your leg is extended, put it down. And let's drop back down into tabletop. Left hand, right hand, left knee, taking a cow and cat, releasing the spine. Returning to our tabletop position, let's reach out through the left arm and the right leg. Look for your balance first. Find the core and level out your hips. Nice big reach through the right heel and the left fingertips. Let's find that little bird dog crunch. Take a deep breath, stretch, exhale, rounding into the center. Inhale and reach. Let's do it again. Inhale and reach. One more time. Inhale and reach. Extending your left arm straight out and the right leg straight out. Let's drop the left hand down to the ground. Reach up through the right. Notice your gaze might be up at that top hand. Maybe it's straight ahead, or maybe it's down towards your left hand. Same options, you could extend that leg or maybe bring your right heel towards your butt. Take it where you want to go. And then we release that foot if we're holding it. Set the foot down if it's extended and return to tabletop. Right hand, right knee, and take one more cow and cat. Let's tuck our toes under, lift the hips high, coming into our first down dog. Transferring as much weight as you can toward the middle of the palm, lengthen out the arms, lengthen out the spine. Maybe pedal these legs out a little bit, just to loosen them up. And then we come up on all 10 toes and let the heels begin to drift toward the mat. If you find that you're not really able to get your spine as long as you'd like, it's okay to bend your knees a little bit here, and you'll immediately feel the back start to flatten out. Take your gaze toward the top of the mat
Begin to take a few small steps toward the top of the mat. Keep some space between the feet and a bend here in your knees. Let your belly kind of rest on the upper thigh, and we're going to reach for our opposite elbows to come into a ragdoll position. Let your head start to drop and look through your knees toward the back of the mat. You can even sway this around a little bit if that feels good. You could be doing this from a chair. Feels good in the middle of the day if you've been sitting at a computer a lot today. Let's find some stillness here in the center. Take your fingertips, place them on the shins, lift that upper body, but keep that bend in the knees. Halfway lift with a bent knee. And now we're going to bring our hands here to the heart center. Take your left elbow, turn towards your right knee, get a little twist, and then come right back to the center. Let's take that to the other side. Right elbow to the left knee, and come right back to the center. Pause here, your upper body reaching out over the floor, and take your arms out wide like the letter T. And then sweep those hands down, lift the chest, coming into a chair pose. Take a quick look down, make sure you can see your toes. If you can't quite see them, you might want to shift your weight back, or maybe stand up just a little bit taller. Reach your fingers toward the sky. Take a deep breath. Exhale, lengthen out the legs and come into a strong mountain pose. Gaze is straight ahead. Little gentle squeeze here in the glutes, slightly pressing the hips forward to keep your lower back unloaded. Let's take a nice big deep breath right here. Keeping the legs long, exhale into a forward fold. So you might have a little bit of a bend at the knee, however much you feel like you want or need. And while you're here, let's come up into that halfway lift. Bringing your fingertips to the front of the shins, reach the arms out wide, find that letter T. We're going to take a full breath in and out. And then one breath in. Exhale down into that forward fold. Letting the head hang, looking toward the back of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Reach the arms out like the letter Y. So a little bit more of an angle here. It's a longer lever for your core to have to hold up. Full breath in and out. One breath in. Exhale down into that forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, reaching the hands straight ahead like you're a letter I, or maybe you're holding a little beach ball right here. One breath in and out. Take a breath in. Exhale into your forward fold. Inhale, roll it up. One vertebra at a time. That little squeeze in the glutes. Roll the shoulders up, back, and down. Mountain pose. Let's take a deep breath right here. Lacing your fingers together at the top, flip your palms toward the ceiling, rise up on the toes, and just make a nice full body stretch right here. And release. Take it down. Give yourself a little shake. If you're feeling like you built a little bit of heat, a little bit of tension across the muscles, loosen it up. Finding some stillness here in the center. Take a deep breath up. Exhale into your forward fold and plant your hands, stepping back into a plank. Your plank might be on your toes, it might be on your knees, it might even be kneeling and look like tabletop. That's just fine. You decide where you want to go. Inhale, lift your right leg. And then set it back down. Inhale, lifting the left leg. and set it down. Inhale, reaching through the right hand and set it down. Inhale, reaching through the left. Try to keep those hips level and dropping low. Set it down. Let's lower all the way down. Chaturanga. Pause right here. Taking your arms out wide, like that letter T one more time. Check into your shoulders. Get some space along the neck. Maybe take your feet a little bit wider toward the edges of the mat. Inhale, lift the chest, rotate the thumbs up. And then exhale, lower down. Let's move those arms up to a letter Y. Inhale, thumbs are up, lift the chest, and lower right back down. Moving those arms into the center. Thumbs are up, letter I. Inhale and lift. Exhale, lower down. Let's bring the hands back underneath the shoulders. Press up into a kneeling plank. Resting here for just one breath. Lengthen out that neck. Extending through your left leg, sweeping up through the left arm. Option to extend your right leg and get a full side plank. You decide. We're going to be taking this plank on the move though, so be ready to rotate. Reaching this hand down, pivot your entire body like one unit. Inhale and lift. Let's do two more. Rotate. Inhale and lift. One last time, rotate. Inhale and lift. Bring the hands down to the mat, tucking toes under. Lift up into a downward facing dog. Nice and long in the neck. Let it relax. Heels drifting toward the floor. Shift your weight forward. Coming into a plank. Let yourself lift those knees up. Inhale. This time we're reaching right arm and left leg and put it down. Left arm and right leg and put it down. Come back to your kneeling plank. Extend your right leg. Reach up through the right hand and find your supported side plank. Your gaze might be up, maybe forward, maybe down to your hand below. Let's start to rotate that plank. Rotating down, turn that whole body. Inhale and lift. Rotating down and lift. Last one. And lift. Let's plant the hands, tuck the toes, downward facing dog. Taking that full breath in and out. Inhale, lifting your right leg high. Exhale, step that right foot between the hands. Coming to a runner's lunge, right knee over the ankle. Inhale and lift, crescent lunge. Back heel's off the ground here. We're scooping the hip forward just a little bit. Give yourself one more breath. Exhale into warrior two. Let's take a quick check. Heel aligns with the arch, hips, shoulders in the center. Then we reach. Look over those fingertips. Straighten out the front leg. Reach forward, dropping the right hand to the right shin, or maybe a block, or all the way to the floor. Open up as big as you can here through your left shoulder. Inhale, taking your left hand overhead. Inhale, right hand overhead. Find that core and bring it all the way up to the center. 5-pointed star. Toes out, heels in. Take a deep breath. Exhale, prayer squat. Sliding your back down a wall. Inhale and reach. Exhale, drop the hands behind the head. We're gonna start dropping the rib toward the hip, taking it side to side, again, like you're sliding your back against that imaginary wall. I want you to go at your own pace for the next 15 seconds. Ten seconds to go. And find some stillness. Drop your hands down to your thighs. We're going to drop that left shoulder toward the right knee. Look up at the ceiling above you. Come to the center, moving to the other side. Looking up overhead. Look down at that foot in the back. Drop your hands to frame it up. Pivot both feet to be facing the back edge of the mat and find your runner's lunge. Inhale, scoop the right hip under, reach the hands high for the crescent lunge. Really reaching through those fingers, getting that little scoop through the right hip. Inhale, reach, pivot the back foot, find your warrior two. Heel to arch, hips and shoulders in the center. Nice long reach. Straightening out the front leg, reach the left hand forward, drop it down to the left shin or the mat or a block. Let's take the right hand high, really opening up the chest. And then we're reaching the right hand overhead. Left hand reaching up. You've got that big beach ball. Find your core down the right side. Lift up, facing the center. 5-pointed star. Big reach as you breathe in. Exhale, prayer squat. Inhale and reach. Exhale into a forward fold. And let's bring your heels behind your toes and start to really let the head hang. Inhale, halfway lift, reaching those arms out like the letter T. One full breath in and out. One breath in. Exhale down into that forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, letter Y. Little leg strength working with your core here. Get that breath in and out. One big breath in. Exhale into your fold. Inhale, halfway lift, reach the arms forward like that letter I, holding a small beach ball. Breath in and out. Inhale and release down. Let's turn the toes out, bend the knees. Bring your hands up onto your thighs. Right shoulder stretching toward the left knee. Come to the center, pressing the left shoulder toward the right knee. Take those hands down, frame up your foot, turn the feet to face the top of the mat. Let's drop down onto the left knee, pull the right knee underneath, walk the hands back, up the body, finding camel. Hands resting here on the back side, squeeze the shoulder blades together, lift the gaze, maybe tucking the toes, reaching for the heels, or even keeping the tops of the feet flat, reaching for the heels. Find your breath. And if your hands are on your heels, bring them back up to your back side. Level out your gaze. Let's take a nice big deep breath. Exhale, hands reach to the right, feet swing to the left as we find our mats. Take your legs out nice and long, feet stay super active here. Get tall through the body, reach your hands forward, tuck your chin and start to slowly lower down toward the floor. Find control in the core, so we don't plop down onto the mat. Use your hands if you need some extra support. Reach the hands up, overhead, and just take a big stretch. Ah, it feels good. Let's bring your hands down alongside the body now. Take both feet and press those feet toward the ceiling. Try to get as active as you can in the feet, really flexing the toes toward the shin and keeping the legs straight above the hips. We're gonna lower down one leg at a time. You can hover that leg, you can rest it, or you can bend the knee and tap down, and then we come right back up and go to the other side. You go at your own pace, alternating these legs for the next 15 seconds. Ten seconds. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Take both feet down to the floor, right underneath your knees. Final core work here. Scoop your hips under so you're feeling that mat underneath your back. Start to peel the spine up and come into a hip bridge. Maybe lifting your head up so we're not dragging our head on the mat. Squeezing through the glutes. Exhale, lower back down, one vertebra at a time. Take a breath. Let's do it again. Inhale, scoop first. Peel up that spine. Squeeze through the glutes. And slowly bring it down, one vertebra at a time. Let's bring both knees right now into the chest, hands on top. Take a little rock side to side, releasing your lower back. You might have felt your low back doing a lot of work here, and that's what it's supposed to do. It is part of your core, not just your abdominal muscles, but that low back is working in conjunction with your abdominals. Let's take a big circle with the knees one way and then around the other. And then coming to the center and letting those feet come down to the edges of your mat. Drop your knees together and come into a restorative pose. Let your arms just fall wherever they fall. Knowing you can stay right here in restorative pose as we start to move into a body scan. Or you can extend the legs out, or even lie on your side, or whatever position you can find comfort in. And check in across the forehead, feel it smoothing out and relaxing. And right behind the eyes, across your face. Putting some space between your teeth and your jaw. Softening through the throat, into the back of the neck, right down into your shoulders. Feel that softness moving down the arms, right through your elbows, wrists, and fingers. And you start to slow down the breath. Putting a little bit more emphasis on your exhale, really drawing that out. And we let our belly begin to soften, loosening up through the hips. Right down each leg, through the knees, ankles, and toes. Just give yourself a moment here to drift Focusing the breath. You can stay as long as you like in your Shavasana. When you have a moment, you can start to move through your wrists, through your ankles, starting to wake yourself up a little bit, and gradually making your way to a seated position. Let the head start to drop down toward the chest. And let your left ear drift to the left shoulder. Reach your right hand out, kind of crawl those fingers out, and create a little more length down the right side of the neck. And then we drop the chin down. Right ear to right shoulder, reaching those left fingertips out along your mat. And allowing the chin to come back to the chest, slowly bringing the eyes open. Let's take a nice big deep breath together up. And exhale, hands to heart center. May you have peace in your thoughts, kindness in your words, and hope in your hearts, from my heart to yours. Namaste. If you enjoyed this video, please remember to like, share, comment, subscribe, so I can continue to bring you fun practices just like this.